Ramily, Ramily, Ramily. Brian Burns to LA just got a lot easier by reports. If you're new here, welcome in. This is Ramsaholics YouTube page. You can follow me on TikTok, right there, Twitter, right there. Make sure you give me a follow, subscribe, like, all that good stuff. So today, I want to talk about the number one guy out there that I want, Brian Burns, edge for the Carolina Panthers, who was just recently tagged non exclusively by the Carolina Panthers. And initially, I thought it would be a bidding war for him, and then Carolina would have to match, which we know they won't, and then they would be rewarded 2 first-round picks. But about an hour ago, Josina Anderson said, regarding Carolina's current situation with Brian Burns, a league source told me, in their opinion, that the Panthers should adapt better to present circumstances in order to potentially compensate a trade. The source said, in their view, it's a double whammy to pay huge money for a player and also give huge draft compensation to the other team for a deal. They added, the time to get more draft picks was when the player has years left on their deal, which 2 years ago, the Rams offered 2 first and a third or fourth. But if the player is in their last year, the other team has to be prepared to keep the player or take less. I've heard some league sources say third round compensation is fair for Burns if the acquiring team is also giving him a long term deal, but that asking for a 1+ is definitely too much for them. So, I mean, you're telling me that we can get Brian Burns for a third round pick. Man, I'll give you a third round pick. I'll give you a fourth round pick. And next year, I'll give you a second. Man, if we can get Burns for that, that is the steal of the century. And it is just not fair. Prepare to hear the crying. And if this is true, that the teams around the league are not going to budge at the first round pick, the Panthers just have to take what they can take. They should have took those 2 first-round picks when we offered it. That was stupid. And I think after last year, they dropped the ball with Bryce Young trade, and now they got the Bears about to get Caleb Williams. So, Carolina, you are about to look like the laughing stock of the NFL. If we really can get Brian Burns for a third-round pick, come on, we'll give you Tutu Atwell on top of that. This is insane. So I really am not sure who the source is. I always thought you had to give 2 first-round picks. But I mean, this is just great news. Like, regardless, I want Brian Burns. But you're telling me if we get him for a third-round pick, that is a lock. The Rams will be the team to get him. It's going to happen. Next year, the Rams have 151 mil on paper. This year, Aaron Donald, Jordan Rodriguez said she had a blog in the Athletic, and she talked about, you know, there's no guarantee Aaron Donald's back. He did say for sure he's coming back this year, but he's taking time away. To me, he's coming back, no doubt about it. He has a $35 million cap hit this year. I think he's definitely come back. And there was a potential that we would kind of rework that contract, maybe add more years just to push that 35 million on to next year, since we have so much more cap, 3 times the amount of cap, with guys like Stafford possibly taking a restructure. There's just a lot of options right now in Los Angeles, and we have to get Brian Burns to LA. The man is one of the best edge rushers in football, top 10. He was number 10 in tackles for loss. He was number 11 in pass rush win rate. Now, he only did have 8 sacks, which is a concern for people, but the stacks cannot really tell the whole story here. And they don't tell the whole story for a lot of guys. Great. It's great if you get in there and you get the sack, but again, pressure, getting back there, these tackles for losses, these win rates shows that he's not a guy that you could put one on one and expect to block him, right? Like you throw him on a line, throw anyone in the line with Aaron Donald, it's going to be great. You throw Brian Burns, you're looking at 15 plus sacks. The kid's only 26 to start the season, 5 years of that, sign me up. I'm all for it. I've watched enough of Brian Burns tape. I've watched him, even though he's played on a 2-15 team, I would watch, games, turn it on, see how he did because I always like Brian Burns. And the man is just great. He's phenomenal. He's someone that you want post AD to go along with Turner and Young to have a formidable D line for the foreseeable future. I really hope the Rams take this opportunity. I mean, like, dude, a third round pick for Brian Burns, that's insane. You don't always find edge rushers about to hit their prime available. It's one of the most important positions and has one of the highest bust rates in the first round, along with DBs. So, I mean, Ramily, you know where I stand. If you follow me on Twitter, I've been pushing for Brian Burns for a while now. I think he's a great fit. Um, Below, you can see I have unrestricted free agents and restricted free agents for our Los Angeles Rams. Free agency starts next Wednesday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Some of these guys are going to go. Maybe some of them stay. I think more go. Um, but we need to get Brian Burns in horns and then figure out everything else. I mean, we have cap, we have the draft. Like, this is going to be a great offseason, and I really wanted to start with Brian Burns as a Ram. Just me. Let me know what you think in the comments below. But as always, take care of yourself, take care of your loved ones. I'm your boy Ramsaholic.